Welcome back to You Be the Judge. My guest today, Mike Williams, is the president of Bustin Industries, and he knows safety, particularly in the field of transportation. Mike, during the break, we talked a little bit about how much time and effort OSHA has spent protecting workers for fall protection in the industrial setting.
Right.
But in the trucking industry, there's almost no regulation.
Yes. In an industry, whether it's manufacturing, aviation, aerospace, pharmaceutical, we all can look to certain parts of the OSHA code, 1910 specifically, fixed ladders, portable ladders, handrails, all these specifics on how to create a safe work environment. However, in the truck and trailer industry, although we have three authorities, not including local, but DOT, Department of Transportation, the CVSA, which helps with that, and then ultimately the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, they all look to 399.205 through 207. OSHA's access bylaws, if you will, and specifics are about an inch thick document. The truck and trailer industry is a single page.
Wow.
And keep in mind, transportation is one of the three economic indicators of our nation's wealth. So if it's here, it came by truck, the table, or everything. So that's how often people are getting in and out of trucks.
I mentioned this to you before the show, but we had a case involving a driver who banged up his knee after he hit a pothole because his seat came forward and smashed into an unpadded dash. And the expert from the University of Pennsylvania who testified in that case said something that I thought was very profound. This was probably 20 years ago.
Really?
He said, we package VCRs in the back of trailers to arrive much safer than we do a human being in the front of the tractor. And think of that, ladies and gentlemen, when you see a truck going down the highway at 60, 65 miles an hour, look at that enclosure that driver is in, and look at what's behind him. I mean, there isn't much by way of safety in the trucking industry. Everything is fuel consumption.
Right.
How much of a load can that tractor pull?
The payload. It's a fascinating. It's not that the industry doesn't know that it's an issue. It's just having the momentum going forward to do something about it. For instance, the very large trailer manufacturers, the OEMs, some of them will, at the rear of a trailer, where most people exit and enter, has an ICC bumper or an rear impact bumper. Some folks know it as the Jane Mansfield bar from that horrible accident where she lost her life. So it's there to provide an impact guard from driving under the trailer at the rear in the case of an accident. So what's prevalent now is people use that as a step. It's not created as a step. It's a total vertical climb. They'll even put a grab handle there. And in some cases, the OEMs have even put a sticker on that ICC bumper saying do not use it as a step, but will then kind of rig it so where you can use it as a step. So again, it's insidious. It's something that people look at, and they certainly don't start their day saying, well, I'm going to run a business, or I'm going to do my business in a way that I'm going to forget about safety so I can save money. It's just sad that injuries, accidents, and in some cases deaths have to occur before people realize that awareness is our problem.
Tell me a little bit about Bustin. I mean, it's obvious that you don't have a coal cracker's accent.
That's right.
Bustin you have a plant, though, in East Stroudsburg.
Yes. We acquired Bustin from Mark and Wendy Lichty. They acquired the business from Leopold Bustin's family after his passing some 28 years ago. About 7 years ago, we purchased it from them, and again, we wanted to evolve our focus to people rather than just products. But we have a plant down in Texas. I promise not to use any colloquialisms or Texasisms as much, even though I do have my boots on. But our plant in Texas manufactures the cargo control products we talked about, some light welding and manufacturing, whereas the majority of our heavy industrial manufacturing takes place here in Pennsylvania in East Stroudsburg. Starting with gratings, and then we again incorporate those gratings into ladders, ramps, mezzanines, platforms, handrails for any number of industries.
I am going to brag a little bit about the workforce here in northeastern Pennsylvania, but I see workers after they've been hurt, but I always see people, and I'll say it time and time again, with a work ethic that they want to get back to work. They don't want to file a workers' compensation claim. They understand how important it is to be back at work and to be productive. And boy, when they're not, they're devastated.
Right.
And how have you found the workforce here in northeastern Pennsylvania?
Well, you know, when we first acquired the company, there was that fear that, oh boy, we're going to be realized to Texas, because so many companies had gone that direction out of Mexico. Of course, it's horrible, but we found the same thing. The work ethic here is fantastic. We have craftsmen in our facility. Our average person has been on the floor for 17 years. They know the product inside and out, and they have a passion for excellence and quality. And that's why our customers keep coming back, as they know. They're all AWS certified welders, and they do good work.
AWS is?
American Welding Society.
Okay.
So they're certified. We have folks like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Merck. Big names come, and they count on us to make sure our welds are penetrating properly and that their workforce can use our tools and products with confidence.
You know, the other thing about this region that was planned 50 years ago, 60 years ago, when the interstate system was just beginning, we had some great political leadership. A fellow by the name of Mike Lawler, and his brother was involved with the administration of Harry Truman and then Dwight Eisenhower. But they made sure that the highway networks all seemed to center around northeastern Pennsylvania. Route 84 to go up to the New England states, Route 80 to go west and east, 81 to go north and south. I mean, you can package your goods and put them on a truck virtually anywhere. And I know you're right off Route 80 in
Yes.
the East Stroudsburg area. I think that's also a real benefit to us. And we don't brag enough about what good things happen in this region, and it's really unfortunate. New area for you, the gas drilling industry.
Yes. Yes.
Have you found that's an industry that's obviously it's growing leaps and bounds up in the Susquehanna, Bradford, Tioga, Lackawanna County area? There's been an awful lot written about the danger to our ecology as a result of the lack of enforcement on certain areas of the industry. But I also worry about the safety. These fellows work long hours.
They do.
I've had one fella in that told me that he's working 14 hours a day, 4 days a week. And when you work that long, you're tired.
Right,
When you're
and it's
tired,
hard work.
It's real hard work, and when you're tired, you're more likely to let something slip.
Yes, fatigue injuries are a really big portion of the injuries that we see. Ironically, being from Texas, we had the Barnett Shale down in Texas, and the shale that's taking place here in the Northeast is significantly larger. And actually, a lot of my friends and people that I know have moved to Pennsylvania to help start and help train in some of those challenges of getting that the shale up and running. But it's another situation where profit and safety, sometimes there can be a perception that they are diametrically opposed to one another. So they try to get things up and running quickly. They have deadlines. And we had one client in particular where we were calling upon, I think I was talking to you before the program, that we were calling upon, a major energy company, which we'll not name. And they weren't interested in talking to us. And then one day we got a call, and within the course of 48 hours, they went from needing a couple $100 in product to about $250,000 in product. They needed it quick. And sadly, what had occurred is there was a death. And then suddenly it's urgent. And now they follow an ANSI code for fall protection, ANSI Z359. And it's a fall protection program. And they actually are a spokesperson for that program because of their experience.
Mike, thank you so much. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what people should be thinking about in the area of fall protection, and then we'll have to wrap it up. But thank you for being with us, and please stay tuned to You Be the Judge. Welcome back to You Be the Judge. During the break, and we've only got a couple of minutes to cover a very important point, but we talked about the difference between fall protection and fall prevention.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there's in the last couple of years, ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, has implemented a new code, ANSI Z359, which is a fall protection program. And it shows the different tiers of fall prevention. And what we try to highlight at Bustin is there's a big difference between fall prevention and fall protection. Fall prevention prevents the fall, as we say. We don't want you to fall at all. Handrails, degree of climb, plenty of friction like we've been talking about. And then fall protection is after a fall has occurred, using a lanyard or any network of harnesses. But what happens after a fall is they then have to retrieve that person, and it's just as dangerous retrieving them many times. And the trauma caused from that fall prevention device, even the best ones, still represents a safety hazard. So that's one of the things that I would invite your viewership to look at the ANSI Z359 if they're very curious about this new fall protection program.
Mike, thanks so much for being with us, and thank you for what you do. I see the tragedy of not having good fall prevention and protection in an industry. And as I said before, a guy like you can put me out of business real quick. and again, that's a good thing. Thanks for being with us, and thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us on You Be the Judge.